Hello,
Hi,
and welcome to our podcast called,
Flame Within a Frame Explained. I'm one of your hosts, Tay.
and I'm your other host, Shay. And how's your week been?
I would say my week's been good. It's half term now, so just
Yeah.
resting and chilling and watching films, obviously.
Nice,
I
nice.
must say though, so you know how we like FaceTime the other day and we're like, oh, let's just maybe watch something together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I may have accidentally started to watch Scandal by myself.
Wow.
Sorry.
That's such a big betrayal. We said
But
you said we were gonna watch it together and you just watched it by yourself. That's so
in my defense, I only watched the first episode. But it's most likely I'm gonna watch some more.
I have no words for you.
I'm sorry,
Um
but it's good. You do need to
uh,
watch it. It's
yeah,
a
I
good show.
know. I'm sorry that I don't have Disney Plus on my laptop or whatever. I only have it on my TV and it's not my login, so I can't even like put it on. Anyway, it's a bit of a difficult situation there, but I can't believe you did that.
My bad. It just kind of happened because I
Oh
finished my show.
wow.
I finished watching
That's
Station
why I don't
19.
watch stuff for people because at the end of the day they just end up watching it like themselves.
Well,
Like
it depends what it is because yeah. To be fair,
yeah, don't try and it's too late now.
no,
I
but
You're
other
not
than
getting
that,
any apology from me. No apology. I don't accept your apology.
well, I
I don't
didn't
want
even
to
ask
hear.
for it.
I don't want to
But
hear
I
any
am sorry
excuses
though.
anyway. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I watch it myself.
My bad. But how's your week been other than this new information?
It's been alright. Honestly, this week has been long, and I've been so tired. Obviously, because the times have changed over in the UK. Like
Yeah.
dealing with all of that, and my sleep pattern has been so awkward because now I'm falling asleep at 2 a.m. I normally fall asleep at like 11 or something, or 12, or maybe
Is your
1 at
clock that
least.
off?
Yeah, but like 2 a.m. in the morning, I'm so sorry. I need a full like 6 hours of sleep or something. I can't.
6 hours.
Not
Yeah.
because like for college, I have to wake up really early for some stupid flipping. Like everyone else has to wake up at 9. Not wake up at 9. They can wake up at like 8 o'clock or something, or wake up at 7. I have to wake up really quite early to get to school around like 8:50 or 8:40. No, it's 8:45, which
Okay.
is same basically the same thing I have to do for secondary school, which is so annoying.
Well, what time do you wake up then?
I wake up whenever, to be honest. Like, even though I'm complaining about it, like I wake up whatever. I don't really care because it's like, excuse me, why am I waking so bloody early in the morning for?
Yeah.
Like,
It's weird because when you wake up, it's like I'm not getting out of bed. I'm not moving. And
yeah,
then as soon as you're up, it's like, why was I complaining? Well,
yeah,
that's like it for me because it's like I wake up. I was like, yeah, this is not happening today. I'm going back to bed. And then I'm thinking, hate the sound of my alarm. Let's turn that off. Usually a bad idea. So I
mm,
just get up anyway, because if not, I'll be late. And I'm like, I don't want to look ugly today. Because Jesus, doing my hair in the morning in under 10 minutes, it's not it. Yeah, it looks not
yeah,
it. So I have to give myself time.
yeah. That makes sense. But I can't do early mornings. I'm not a morning person. I'm probably like an afternoon or night person, but
Yeah.
not morning, not too early in the morning. But yeah, last week was was so long, so I was like, come on, the weekend is here, it's half term coming up, it's like, hurry up. I'm done.
Yeah.
I want to be done with this week. So thank God it's finally like half term and I can finally sleep a bit better. But the weirdest thing, like it got to like Saturday, because obviously Friday was done. Went to sleep around like 2 a.m. in the morning. Woke up at 9 o'clock in the morning. Why so early? Like, fair enough. I had work. Like, I was working Saturday, but it's the fact that what like it could. That's never me. I could never wake up that bright early. And I did the
9 a.m. is early for
night.
you.
Yeah, 9 a.m. is early for me.
Girl, that is late for me. I feel like I've slept the whole day away.
No, because
Yeah.
normally I wake up like if it's half term, I normally wake up at like 4 a.m. Not 4
Abs-
a.m. 4 p.m. I'm
I was
so
gonna say
sorry.
4 a.m.
I
No,
normally wake up at
that's too
4
early.
p.m. or like yeah, late into the afternoon because I
Oh,
just
yeah.
my sleep schedules are so bad during half terms. But yeah. Um Last week was I don't even know what happened last week as well for me. It was just like I couldn't be bothered to be in school anymore. Like I'm currently on my final project, which is just FMP, if you know.
Oh, how's it
Um,
going?
it's not too bad to be honest. It's getting there. That's what I keep saying. It's getting there. I just want to get to the filming days.
Yeah.
So like the filming days are always like better than the actual staying in school doing the
Oh, so
pre-production
you're just
work.
planning it all now.
Yeah, so right now it's like kind of like pre-production, which is the deadline was last week, Friday, which is fun. Um, but yeah,
Slay.
yeah. So now we're moving into the production week, which is like some people are filming during the half term, some people are filming after when we come back. But yeah, that's basically what's happening. So pre-production, it's just a lot because all you're doing is sitting at a computer and you're like filling out some stuff. So for me, I was doing like props and costume, the production budget sheet and like the call sheet. So it's not like a lot, but it's like a lot to like in the sense of also having to because I've weeks ago I finished doing my like what's it called research stuff. So we had to do like a website research because we make our own websites, work on a stylistic treatment, visual treatment. What else did we do? A thematic research, which is like you research on like articles around your like themes. Like so for instance, my theme for my film that for my group's film is
Yeah.
like around like violence against women, online dating and such like that. So like I had to look up articles or look up films or look up videos that kind of like discuss those topics and stuff
Yeah.
and kind of see the representation in that and if it's good or bad representation and like kind of speak about how the media like has like a certain type of commentary on that topics and stuff. So it's kind of that's what basically a thematic research is basically on.
Would you say that a lot of your research, you can see that a lot of the representation of women is kind of all the same, or is it all different? Like you get different types of things?
Um that's what I kind of was speaking about in yeah, so like on my on because you can either do a thematic research on like a document, but we've changed it up into like a slide show type of thing. So
Yeah.
like for my research I kind of looked up like films such as like Fresh, if you've heard of it, with
Yeah.
Sebastian Stan
Yeah.
in it. What else? Yeah, so Fresh, I looked at You, but I didn't really talk about You. I just remember that the show came out recently when I was doing all of this, like season 4. What else was there? The Luckiest Girl Alive.
Yes.
I mentioned that kind of. Um, what other stuff was there? I talked about promising young women and like the whole like commentary that the film speaks on about like how in the media in America, how like on the news they would say like the promising young man, where like these people who have like who are like footballers or like soccer players in America they call it, or like what's it called, basketball players and all those type of people who have like in the media's eyes basically promising careers and who are like rising up to the top in a way, and then it's just like these women in a sense come out of nowhere and they're like, oh, this person essayed me and stuff like that, not like
Yeah.
in this tone but like yeah, and then it's just the whole conversation around that and how it's never around how damaging it would like the situation was to the young woman's life. Is always around like how damaging it was to the young man's life because like for instance in the film it kind of speaks around just like young, oh Jesus, oh sorry my voice cracked, like this young man who's like a doctor or something like that, and he's like um and this other woman who we don't ever see in the film, but this other young woman who's, I think her name was Nina or something around that. She was a doctor as well, and he basically assaulted her. Um, but when it came out, when she told like basically her school that he assaulted her and stuff like that, it was turned back on her being like, how would you remember because you were drunk, and like it's like, oh, she's just saying nonsense and trying to
Yeah.
ruin a person's career because whatever reason that the film was saying, I can't remember now. But so I kind of spoke around that and how in media we kind of just portray these women as like crazy, and we don't really show sympathy towards them. We always like, oh, they're just crying wolf in a way, and just choosing to like make the other person's like life miserable and hell. um and like it's like, oh my god, that person has so much potential, but like what about that woman who had so much potential and this is gonna follow her life for the rest of the time she lives and stuff and like that. And like it's just like such a good topic to talk about, and I felt like that was a good film to mention
Yeah.
for my research. So yeah, those stuff that I do for thematic. That was a really long answer to your question. I'm so
No,
sorry.
no, well, it kind
Um
of explains it because like, at least at my school, we don't really do that aspect of it because a lot of it is just studying films, and we do talk about representation, but it's more on the films that's already been chosen for us.
yeah.
And it's like, what do we see and how do we interpret it? Like, more recently, we're doing it on classic and new Hollywood and
Mm,
how representation of men and women were very stereotypical. Um, but
yeah.
yeah, I guess for you and what I do is very different, but it's interesting because it
Yeah.
is so different, but a lot of it is the same because the stereotypes are still very now, and
Yeah.
a lot of roles seem to fall into that.
Yeah, so definitely, because I speak on the stereotypes in the thing of how like in media we, even though it is changing, I still like sometimes media has its moments where it kind of falls into another stereotype, even though like we will say that's change, but that's not really change. We're just falling into another stereotype. So
Yeah.
like for women, it's like for example,
The
one
stereo
stereotype, it could be like fragile, innocent, and shy.
Yeah.
um, Typically in films such as like could be like horror films, thrillers, dramas even, or maybe like films around like revenge, essay. If you
Yeah.
heard of that type of genre, which is kind of like horror, but it's kind of not. Um, and like the woman just being not able to like take care of herself in a way, and she needs like a, like for instance in the revenge essay films, they typically have like the brother, the uncle maybe, or the dad going out of his way to like get revenge for his daughter, niece or something maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I feel like films like that, and then in the reverse flipped over stereotype of those films, we would have like these strong, brave characters who at the beginning of these revenge films, who are very like, what's it called? Who are very like fragile in a way.
Yeah.
And sometimes they can be quite like confident in themselves and stuff. And then they typically end up dying and then coming back, or something happens, they go on a little journey and they come back and they're like these brave, kick-ass type of characters and stuff. Those are the type of stereotypes. And or a third one is like these annoying feminist women who are like against like the whole standard quo of like men being the working person in the house and then that woman staying at home. I think that's, well, that's one example, but like, the feminist stuff and everything. Films such as maybe like, can't think of a film right now, but
Just films.
just a film. And like another stereotype being the Mary Sue type, where
Oh, yeah?
it's just like a character who is who has not really much personality going on, who are just like I would say a copy and paste version of a male heroic character minus the personality. Like, you know how and typically like Marvel films nowadays, they kind of have like these strong, brave characters or whatever, but they
Yeah.
lack any type of personality and they're kind of just all based on stereotypes. For instance, the most recent one that comes to mind would be the what's it called? Uh Hulk, She-Hulk, whatever it's called. So yeah, I feel like definitely films like that definitely what's it called? Follow like films in general kind of follow those female stereotypes. And I feel like definitely the Mary Sue ones or the what's it called? The fragile ones are like the most I guess hurtful. Because women in the media I feel like we always want a proper representation and a proper portrayal of us. And when
Yeah.
we and when we get it, it's kind of like half-heartedly. Like it's not really like a genuine thing. Like that's what I mean about the She-Hulk thing. Like
Oh, don't even.
yeah, I know, but like sorry, but the She-Hulk thing, how she is just a walking stereotype. Like no woman really sounds like that. And for people like for just other people who are watching the show being like, "Oh, this is representation." Like, "Oh my god, go us!" Like, this is great. This is pro movement. This is so many things, but really, it's not because
Yeah.
in a way, when the industry does this, when we ask for representation, it's just kind of like it's kinda like they don't they would give it to us, but they don't really, like, give a crap if you like it or not, and they kinda blame you for asking for that representation because it's like, "This is what you wanted, so here you
Be
go,"
happy
and
with it. Yeah.
yeah, and it's I feel like it's so offensive and stuff like that, but yeah, the representation nowadays is terrible, but that's basically what I did for my, thematic
Yeah.
research, and, what else do we do? And also we did like motion graphics, which is just talking about like the editing style that you want for your film.
Yeah.
But in for this case, we kind of spoke around like how we wanted the credits to look like,
Mm.
how we wanted the title to show up on the screen. Like for Fresh, it's like 30 what's it called? 30 minutes into the film, or maybe it's small not that long. However long it the title comes up on the screen, like, it's a quite of a long time till you see the title name of the film, which is kinda cool, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, we could use that for our film," or something,
Yeah.
like, have the title in the middle of the film. So we establish what the characters are and, like, their goals and, like, who they are, basically.
Mm.
And yeah, that's basically what did for research and basically what I was doing for pre-production. And we have a thing that we have to do called reflective journal, where we have to speak about what we do each week. And I'm
Oh,
just
wow.
tired of doing that. And it's like 23 pages, and we have like a critical reflection thing. So talk about how you feel about the week. And then we have like this other thing where you have to talk about briefly and soft skills that you use during the week and stuff. It's just like a bunch of I'm so sorry. I miss doing the reflective journal that we used to do in my first year and I'm just
Yeah.
tired of doing that. Like it's so flipping long. I mean, for some people who are like who do I don't know, like other coursework and stuff probably sounds like that's basically nothing. But damn, I'm so sorry. I didn't expect to like do a bunch of writing when I came. I mean, I get it for like pre-production and research and stuff like that. But a whole flipping reflective journal, 23 pages.
Yeah, sounds like a lot.
I'm literally I'm repeating myself each time I write. And I like honestly, I don't care. Like it's not really plagiarism if I'm repeat like just using my words. So I just copy my old reflective journal. If my teacher hears this, I didn't copy my old reflector journal. That's a lie.
Yeah, if your teacher is
Um,
just say the past 10 seconds maybe?
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically my week. And that's why I was so happy it was half term because I need a break. I need my sleep. And I need to play Sims.
Slay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, think and moving on. So this week we're gonna be speaking about My Policeman and Flight Plan. You go first.
Yeah, and so I watched My Policeman to give you my overview, and honestly, it's basically the same as your opinion, to be honest.
Mm,
Um, I like seeing Harry Styles in a new role. I've
mm,
never really thought that he'd become an actor because when I was little and I was into One Direction, I was like, oh, okay. But I'm here for the change and it's like, okay, taking it in. But I think he needs some more experience and more opportunities to grow
mhm,
because it was not it in the film.
mhm.
There was a lot of long pauses and the acting just seemed very wooden, like
Yeah,
stiff almost. And kind of what you said, you want to feel the chemistry between the characters,
yeah,
and it wasn't there. Like I didn't get anything, and I wasn't rooting for you to kind of basically win, if I could put it that way.
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, the film, no, it's okay. The film, I wouldn't go out of my way and tell people about it and be like, this is such a good film where
Yeah,
there's more films part of the LGBTQ community that I can be like, yeah, you need to watch this because it's a good representation of it. Like I can see what they were doing with the whole this is what happened in the past, and you can see it kind of from three different perspectives, but you don't at the
yeah,
same time. Like what you said, I think it's kind of from the wife's perspective, but it's also not. So it's kind of confusing in that aspect. But
yeah,
I can see what they were doing in wanting to make this film, but I don't think they achieved it in the way that they wanted to.
yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't for me, really.
The richest I mean, yeah, the richest I mean, from like what I've said, it probably made it quite clear that it wasn't I don't know, but like yeah. I don't
But
know.
yeah, I don't know, even from when you were talking about it, I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna give it a fair chance. Let me just go in watching it." But to be fair, I did watch the trailer first, and obviously, once you've spoken about it, I kinda went in knowing a
A
few things
lot,
already.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that did help because it kinda set my intention, what I would come out how I felt at the end,
Mm,
and yeah, I kind of got what the film was about just based on the whole trailer, to be honest. I felt
yeah.
like I didn't need to watch it, but
Mm.
I don't think it was a waste of my time, but I also felt like I could have used it to watch something else.
Yeah. It's always like that. It's like I don't know. It's like the time when you could be watching something good, you choose to watch something like stupid.
Yeah, but then
Like
again, to be fair, when I was saying how there's like really long takes and it just like silences in the film,
yeah.
I remember at school we're learning about Quentin Tarantino's like Pulp Fiction
Oh
and
yeah.
his type of films. He has a lot of long takes, chatty dialogue that's just continuous and it's doesn't make sense, but
Mm,
I love it because okay, anyway, so let me go off on a tangent and then I'll come back because I'll leave it somehow. So basically, in Pulp Fiction, we have two like gangsters in a way, and the first time we see them, they're in a conversation, and
mhm.
obviously, typically, you would think they might be talking about guns, violence, death, something like that. But
Yeah.
in reality, we're talking about a cheeseburger. It's
Oh.
like, yeah, it doesn't make sense, but I love it. It's like, why can't they be talking about cheeseburgers or
Yeah.
going shopping or something like that? But
Mm,
then in My Policeman, the long no, the long takes and just the chatty dialogue, it isn't the same.
mm.
It's like
Oh,
this is what you were aiming for, and you didn't get it. But I could, but then again, I am comparing it, and it's two very different films.
yeah.
And don't get me wrong, but that's where my mind went when I was watching it because it was like, this is a film that does similar techniques of camera and editing and just acting in general,
Mm,
and it didn't come off across as well, in all honesty.
yeah. I don't know what else to add because I basically said all my opinions um on it like last week. So I totally agree with you on that sense. Um I feel like even what I said last week about how the film really does lack, especially with the chemistry
Chemistry.
between each character. I just don't see them really. Like, I don't know if it's because of a lack of time being with the characters or whatever, but I just feel like there could have been like a lot of stuff that they could have done more with the characters, especially with the fact that it's a love story between all three. Well, apart from the what's it called, the lover and the wife, but it's
Yeah.
between all of them, and I just feel like for what's his name? I think Harry Styles' character's Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, like his love towards the wife and his other lover. I don't really see how he's in love with these two people. Apart from like the wife, I do feel like they do have like a slight bond with each other. Like you do feel like they care. And I guess you can say the same thing for like how he feels about his lover, but at the same time I don't really see it in a sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing I love about some films that do it better. With like Moonlight. I can't believe I didn't mention Moonlight last week. Moonlight and like Call Me by Your Name. Like I would say Moonlight more because you really I guess for that Moonlight's different because it's a more of a journey that you go with one character and kind of
Yeah.
see how he comes out and dealing with his sexuality, dealing with his race and dealing with all these other stuff like being a man and stuff like that in America and stuff. So I feel like even though that's kinda a different type of storyline, I still feel like that film does so much it does it so much better because even with certain characters in the film who don't have much screen time with the main character, you still feel their bond. And I feel
Yeah.
like films like that where it's little screen time with like certain characters and they still are able to establish a bond between two characters, I feel like those films or just the direction for how and the script, obviously, like the acting and everything works so well together. And for example, this film, I just feel like is either the script or the acting or the direction that was given because for everything not to like fall into place for with everything, it's just so annoying. 'Cause especially with these are your 3 main characters, and we're supposed to root for them, care for them and what they're doing, follow their journey, and actually truly, like, understand them. For your audience to understand them and, like, kinda go like a care for them in a sense, we really need to understand their personality and understand the bonds between each other that they have, but I don't really see that, and I feel like the film kind of failed in that part, and it's just like films like that, I feel like they don't care, they can't be bothered. It's like films
Yeah.
they just wanna throw out representation or throw out, a storyline for, like, people to just sit there and watch or whatever, and I feel like no matter what you're trying to achieve and, like, if you just want, like, a quick buck or whatever, I feel like you still need to produce a good story, at least a decent one. Like, if you're not gonna really put effort in it. And I feel like, um, the fact that trailers nowadays, especially the trailer for this film, literally will tell you the whole story,
Yeah.
of what the film is about. There's literally no point watching it because you can sit there and watch that trailer and sit and watch the film, and I rather was you rather sit there and watch the trailer than watch the film because you feel like the way that was really a waste of an hour because I got that from the trailer itself. I didn't need to watch the film, and yeah, I
Yeah, I
feel
feel
like
like trailers are like that nowadays, but I think that's kind of why you either I don't know, I think it depends on the film because sometimes trailers they work so well and it's like
yeah,
this is what you're gonna get yourself into, but you don't know how they're gonna end up there. You kind of see a little bit of the journey, but you don't know the destination. And
yeah,
it's all of that. But sometimes in some trailers, a bit like My Policeman, it kind of does show you the destination in the end. And that's
yeah,
where it kind of probably lacked in mystery.
mm,
But I don't know. I could see the potential of the film. And it's good that we're getting more films and representation that's being shown, but it
mm,
still kind of feels like we're having to make a film just to be like, "Yeah, we made another film for the gay community." when it shouldn't be like that. We're just making a
Yeah.
film to show another love story.
Yeah, it's
But
definitely a yeah, sorry. There's definitely a trend of like throwing out around like throwing representation, and as much as communities of people really like need that and want that, it just feels so half-heartedly. Like it's like when someone gives you a present, but it's like they don't like I don't even know how to give this example, but
no, no,
someone
no, I don't know.
giving you
It's like when
like giving you a
someone gives you a
present.
present, and then no, when someone gives you a present and they expect something in return.
Yeah, or like giving you a present and like if you have an issue, or for instance, like you know how like family members will give you like a present and something, and you basically necessarily haven't asked for it, but they want you to appreciate it because they've
Oh,
gone out their
yes.
way
Yeah,
to get you the present even though you haven't asked for it asked for it. And it's like if you don't like show some type of appreciation towards it,
yeah.
it's turned to you being like, "Oh, you're so, like, unappreciative.
Ungrateful.
You're
Yeah.
so ungrateful." Yeah, like, stuff like that, and it's a whole list of things when really and truly, even though I may have asked for this at some point or whatever, I just feel like you can't blame the person for how they're reacting to your gift or what you're giving to them in the sense of a film. You can't blame the audience for not liking the representation that you're giving when it's not a certain good representation. Like they
Yeah.
haven't, like they may have asked for it, but you're just throwing them something that is just like, here you go, like either have it or not, like I don't care type of thing. And that's the certain attitude that certain like not filmmakers, but certain like big industry companies like kind of put out to their audience. And it's like blaming the audience for what they give out, which is really stupid because it's just like, how can you blame me for something you made? Like I've asked for it, but it's not like I can't even really describe it properly. But I've asked for it, but there's basically no effort in it. Like
Yeah.
you just gave me a card and all you did that's literally you just gave me the card, and what's in the card is just the printout words on it, which is just
Stop
probably like
it.
happy birthday and that's it. And I'm like, okay, thank you for getting me the card. You didn't think to like write a little message on it. That's basically it's like getting you a card or getting you something like that and then just not putting any effort inside.
Yeah.
That's like a perfect example of it. So I think it's really it's
I quite like that.
so yeah, that's how I feel about it. About
Well, what do you feel
representation.
about like my Jesus? I did this the last time. I combined the films.
Yeah.
No, but what do you think of Flight Plan? Because I think I touched on it the last time how like the film is heavily with female protagonists and kind of shows her taking charge and being strong. But what do you think of that film? Because it is very different to My Policeman,
Mm.
like in all aspects.
Yeah. I feel like the representation of a mother and stuff like that um is very like I feel like representation of mothers are just very like interesting on a
Mm.
whole. Um, and I feel like as this is like a mother and daughter type of film, I really like the film first of all. I felt like it's very 2000 as I said last time. It just sounds like such a 2000 film and watching it was like, yeah, 2000s makes sense.
Nostalgic.
Um um and yeah, I feel like it was a very um crazy film. The plot of what was going on with the whole mother losing her daughter on a plane
Yeah.
still does not make sense to me how you can lose a kid on a plane, but she lost a kid on a plane, and
Yeah.
it's so baffling, honestly baffling. And like the scene of her like having like complete going into panic mode, running up to the staff and being like, "How I had a kid." Oh, sorry, I moved the mic. Um, she had a kid like sitting next to her, like I don't know where my kid is, and like the build up to like her completely like losing her crap. I was about to say
Yeah.
shit, but I just said
You still said it.
it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, she loses her shit and stuff, and it's like I don't know why I'm scared to say that word. Um,
But you
yeah. So like she loses her shit, and like so long.
I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna say that word. I'm gonna move on.
No, you
And
can say it. It's just every time it makes me laugh. It
I
makes me
was-
chuckle.
oh god, but yeah. So and like the the pacing of her losing like her mind and everything, like you really feel the tension and the way it builds up. It's like God, I hope she finds her kid because I would
Yeah,
never want to be in her position. Like I don't
absolutely
want,
not.
honestly, I don't want kids because if I honestly, if that was my child, I would have been so like God, I could have never. Honestly, I would have been so scared. I don't know. I probably have had a heart attack on the plane. And yeah,
Missing child and heart attack.
yes. I could even imagine losing my brother, and
Mm.
that would be an honest nightmare. Um,
Mm, yes.
so yeah, it's just really, I don't know. That film did a great job on building tension, and everyone on the plane, you just think like, how the hell could you have not seen this child? Like,
Yes.
I get that she's small and whatever, but like, come on. And I think it's just like a thing of like bystander
Yeah.
awareness and stuff, like how as people just like around a certain situation and kind of being a bystander, you don't really show an awareness to like certain things that are going on or refuse to show awareness, especially with the staff members. Like obviously they're supposed to know that there's a kid on the plane. For some of them, they probably obviously do know was a kid on the
Yeah.
plane, and so like the being a bystander to that and seeing that this woman is literally in so much like she's in a panic mode and she's in so much distress
It's
and
just, yeah.
everything, and the fact that the kind of like what's it called, they kind of give off the vibe of like not
They're
giving
kind
a
of brushing it
crap.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brushing it off basically. And it's like you shouldn't be brushing it off because that is a legit like big issue. The fact that something really bad could have happened on the plane to this child, if they find this child, obviously towards the end they do. Spoiler, like whatever. But it came out in 2000. You can't be upset with me. Like you should have watched it by now.
No, I'm upset with you. No, I'm joking.
But like yeah, it's just like the fact that this film did an amazing job with everyone's like role. Like you really feel like these are genuine human beings on a plane, and you really feel like you could be on that plane and see this happening and be like in that moment. And bro, I would be so terrified for her and stuff if I was there. Like I don't know.
Can I
I
also say, what I didn't mention the last time is that what I really liked is how we kind of see different perspectives, like not legitimately, but like when it comes to the pilot, we can kind of see how much pressure he's under. Because
yeah,
like he's supposed to be flying the plane, but it's also how he needs to think of every single passenger, but
yeah,
also be a decent person and obviously be the pilot
yeah.
and find this woman's daughter. And it's
I'm
like we can see everything he's going through and
yeah.
being like obviously handle it, but whilst also keeping every single passenger like safe and in check and all of that. And it's like my days would not want to be him.
I wouldn't want to be him either. I mean, the fact that the staff member, oh my god, all of them fired. Even the two that were hooking up in the back,
Don't
fired.
even know. Yeah.
You guys, no, because you had a one job, not to do whatever you're doing in the back. I'm so sorry. That's a completely fired. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Because if something really bad, if they've actually like I said, like if they were to find the kid earlier on, or if it was a different turnout from the ending, That would be so. All of them, they would all have lost their jobs. Would all have lost their jobs, because how are you gonna tell me none of you are feeling the sure panic mode of there's a missing child who came on this plane and none of you are worried?
Nah.
Realistically, let's think of this realistically speaking. No one is worried about a missing child. And the fact that, okay, pause. Like, why like the whole scene that you mentioned last week with the woman like accusing these two men of taking
Yeah,
her daughter.
child. Yeah.
Like, okay, that scene did not blew past my
Yeah,
head.
that in itself, yeah.
Um, yeah. But my thought was like, where would they hide her? Like, fair enough that obviously there was someone on the plane that, you know. So
Yeah.
like, but
Yeah, but that's the other thing. It's like
those,
she kind of it's like you took my daughter. Where are they gonna hide her? Because the people who did actually take her, accidentally spoiler, but they worked on the plane, so they know
yeah,
where to put her. So it's also like you can see how in distress she is because she doesn't even think it through. Like
yeah,
supposedly men took my daughter. There's only what two of them. Where are they gonna put her? And if they actually don't know planes and don't even know this plane well enough, they're not gonna really know either way. But then again, if you're gonna kidnap one, I'm sure you'd think it through. I don't know though, because I've never done it. But
yeah.
yeah.
And speaking of that, I do not understand why they kidnapped the child. I don't think that wasn't explained properly.
It was
Did it?
no, but I think it's probably to do with money. Oh, he wanted money. It was money.
Oh,
When is it not money at the end of the day?
oh my god.
Yeah, it was
All
money. He
that for
wanted
a child.
yeah, so you would what do you call it? When you exchange it. What is that called? Basically, I'll give you this and you give me that. If he wanted that to happen, he
Money.
would have gotten money from it.
Wow. All of
Yeah.
that. He
Well,
did
people are greedy.
that's like, oh my god. Yeah. No. That this film will make you scared of taking a plane, especially if you have little kids. Like this film will make you scared of taking a plane. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
You know what? I'd watch it in after it. I'd watch Bridesmaids, where they go on a flight to another destination, and this woman, I think she basically has some alcohol when she's on the plane. She has a little bit too much, and I think she thinks she sees something, and it's just really funny. So it's
Oh,
complete opposite. I would say watch Flight Plan, then watch Bridesmaids, and then get on the plane. You're good because it's so different.
bruh. Yeah, what a mess. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts. I would definitely give. Oh yeah, we didn't do ratings. What do you rate My Policeman?
Okay, out of 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, I'll go with a solid maybe 4.5.
Okay, nice. Anything you would change or like?
Um, for the dialogue, not make it so long and just cut the long scenes out as well. Like I understand a long scene because I get that. I do. Because sometimes it's nice to kind of build it up and focus on the character's surroundings and see what they're looking at as well. And I like that. But
Mm,
then it doesn't have to be like a 5 minute thing.
mm,
It can be like an extra 10 seconds if it really needs to be. And then to be fair, but maybe not much else because as much as I didn't love it, I did like the cinematography in some of the
mm.
scenes. So like some of the beach shots as well. Beach shots
It's-
even. But no, it's not my type of film. They didn't do the LGBTQ community justice, I would say. But
That's mm.
it wasn't awful. It
Yeah,
could have been so much worse.
it could have
So
been after.
don't even start with that film. Okay, let's move on. Absolutely not. Can't even. Okay, what would you rate my flight? Ah, see, I combine them again. My flight plan. No, what would you rate flight plan?
I would rate it like a 6 or a 7, like 0.5, 7.5 or a 6. Um, I feel like I enjoyed it. I love the tension building and the panic that you go, and you really do feel like worried for the character, and you really hope that she finds her kid. Basically everyone on the plane is shit. Um I'm so
Moral of the
s
story. Yes.
I'm so but it does talk about a social awareness of, like, how we don't really pay attention to other people around us for stuff
Yeah.
to, like that to happen, and I feel like that was kinda interesting for the film to kinda touch on.
Yeah, because it's
Um
like we're also just, or is it, clouded by our own lives that we don't really see others.
Yeah, and I feel like definitely being like a bystander of like seeing, like knowing that something, obviously seeing that the child was on the plane, but choosing not to like say that it is, and then like everything. I'm still confused of how the film, like how the people were able to be like, oh, yeah, she's dead, but she's not. So like how? I don't
Yeah, people.
know. Yeah, the film, it had its clever parts, I must say. It really makes you feel like, "Damn, this woman must be crazy or not." So totally agree with you on what you said last week.
So would you change anything about the film?
Um, I don't know if I really would change anything because even though this is not really my type of genre film, film,
Mm.
I feel like because 'cause I'm try to be really open-minded when it comes to like seeing new things that I'm not really drawn to or familiar with or whatever. I
Mm.
think this was kind of a interesting take to like watch and kind of like gain a new type of um what's it called? Type of creative way to like tell a story in a sense of
Yeah.
like how you can build tension up in a scene and stuff. I feel like I don't know. The pacing was great. I don't know really, because I feel like I might need to give it a second watch to point out what I would change
Change.
in some
Yeah.
parts. I feel like maybe for the two bad people in the film, I feel like maybe make it more make them seem more non-guilty, like they're not bad people. Because the one
Mm.
guy who's I'm not gonna say who
Yeah.
he is, but the one guy, I just feel like he there was always something off about him. He just seems like he
Yeah.
wasn't like he doesn't seem like I don't know how to describe him, but he
No,
just
because you never really trust him, even from the
yeah.
beginning. It's like, I can see how you're trying to help, I do, but it's almost like I'm gonna keep the audience relationship with him at a distance.
Yeah, he seemed like a pedophile, not gonna lie. He looked really creepy at the beginning. The way he was looking towards the mom and the daughter, I was like, no, I don't he looks off. He looks so
That's
off.
another thing. He actually saw the daughter.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. See, this is the whole yeah, he's weird. He's really weird. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe
Like a bit too crazy things.
I think maybe change him
Really.
to seem more like he's a genuine like good person to make him play with the good role a bit better. So then like but like kind of balance it because I feel they lean more to like the creepy weird type more than being the oh he's a good person type. So I think balancing that like dynamic, especially
Yeah.
with the other woman, kind of hint to the fact that I feel like especially I feel like it's okay to hint that the film but that something is going on between this person and this person, kind of show their type of dynamic. And also like her, like I don't know, she felt really off, and I do think the outcome of that, to finding out that it was like them two, it was just like oh, like fair enough for the guy, but like oh it was her, oh okay, interesting. It was really weird,
Yeah.
but I think those things I would change in a sense. Thank you for listening to Frame Within a Frame Explained. Tune in next time.